Welcome back to Kiwi Bred. Roca began his stud career last season at Westbury Stud. I spoke with Russell Warwick about the foals the son of Fastnet Rock is producing. Roca's kids are rocking it. Full of character and frivolity, the Roca foals Kiwi Bred film were more than happy to play up to the camera. And it seems happy horse, happy stud master. Westbury stud boss Russell Warwick is thrilled with the start Roca has made.
We've thrilled Aiden, and such as most stallions, they from year 1 to year 2 they really let down and bulk up, and he's really done that, and his demeanour hasn't changed. He's just handled everything perfectly, so he's quite a specimen now. We didn't get him till late. I think we announced him sort of back end of June last year, and from there we did 105 mares I think last year with him. He's probably on target to do about 110 this year. So really for a young stallion, he's got really good patronage, and we're very, very confident about the horse, and I guess going forward the foals are vindicating our belief in him.
Talk about the foals. Have there been anything sort of typical about the stock he's throwing?
Yeah, look, I would just think they're all athletic foals. He's a big horse himself. He's 16.5, and it gives you the opportunity to breed a lot of smaller mares to him and hopefully get a good size yearling out of it. And the foals that we've got are all athletic, great muscle on them, very alert, and lovely heads on them. So really they should make into gorgeous yearlings, and we may even have a selection of weanlings go to the weanling sale by him. So with the numbers that he's had, they should be well spread, and they should be well liked by prospective buyers.
Okay, he is a physical specimen, as you said. He's really throwing that into the stock.
Yeah, look, as I said, the leg underneath them and the back ends on them is very good, and they just got lovely heads on them. So I think if you had to have three things, leg, a good head and a good backside, takes you a long way as far as marketing them goes.
On pedigree, Roca is an easy product to promote. As a son of Fastnet Rock out of Rubiton mare Ruby Mill, a sister to Golden Slipper placed Mill Rich. He was twice Group 1 placed, and on occasions had the measure of several top-line contemporaries.
Not a lot of people probably recognised he was champion 3-year-old colt of his time, up to 1600 metres. He got beaten in the nose by Dissident in the Randwick Guineas Group 1 after beating Dissident quite comprehensively in the Eskimo Prince. So he got beaten a half head by Terra Vista, and so when you talk about horses like Terra Vista, Dissident, he beat Sacred Falls and Atlantes, and he ran, I think, 41 days after winning a maiden at Taupo. He ran in the Caulfield Guineas Prelude and started second or third favourite for the Caulfield Guineas. So for such a lightly tried horse, he jumped in the deep end very early in his career and performed with distinction. The things that drew us to him were two things really. One, we had an innate knowledge of the horse because I'd done the mating for him and we'd sold him as a yearling, so we'd followed him right through his career from the time he was a weanling. And second of all, I just had a really strong belief that Fastnet Rock, being a son of Danehill, was about to create his own dynasty, and I was really strong on trying to find a Fastnet Rock son, one that predominantly had a bit of speed as well, to come to stud. So when you looked around at the Fastnet Rock sons that were available, for New Zealand, I thought he stood out, and he's a horse that we followed for probably 12-14 months before we were actually successful in purchasing him. And the maternal side, his mother was by Rubiton. Well, Rubiton was a high-class sprinter miler who got out to winning a Cox Plate, and the mother was a full sister to Mill Rich, who ran third in the Golden Slipper, and she's the mother of Red Zell, who's one of the better sprinters in Australia at the moment. So there was a family that said, well, it's a stallion pedigree. Dane Rich was out of the pedigree, and he's done a very good job in Victoria as a stallion. So he ticked a lot of the boxes, and he was affordable.
Russell, given that history you've had with the horse, you must have a real connection with him.
Look, yeah, you're 100% right, Aidan. I think we have a lot of horses go through our hands on an annual basis, and we're very proud of all the horses that go off here, and they reach at all different levels. But to be able to have a horse like that we can follow and see what he did on the racetrack, and then have the ability to be able to bring him back home and stand him, it's really enjoyable. And I guess one horse that I had a strong affinity personally was Gold Bros, and he just was a horse that was very easy to talk about, and gave you those warm fuzzies when you did talk about him. And Roca does the same for me in a lot of ways, and particularly everything that you do with him, it's not hard. The fertility was good, they were good race horses, they're leaving great foals, and hopefully he can go on and do what Gold Rose did for us at stud. But just those horses that aim to please you all the time, and had that little bit of ability, and that stood them out from the rest.
The 4 El Roca foals Westbury stud paraded for Kiwi Bred were attractive, good-walking youngsters, and the colt out of Red Ransom mare Hope and Joy was a good example of that.
That's one of Australia's better families, and I think Jerry's been a bit of a collector of this family for a number of years. There's a lot of the better breeders in Australia. It's the Denise's Joy family it's well known as, and that's another foal very typical of the El Rocas, and it was a mare that with that Australian speed, and we've tried to send mares to him that hopefully can get natural 2-year-olds, running 2-year-olds. I think most 2-year-olds, good 2-year-olds, are natural running 2-year-olds. They're not made to be 2-year-olds. So we've tried to get a cross section of horses, and this Australian family can really produce a good 2-year-old that carries on to be a good sprinting 3-year-old. And so hopefully that foal will be one that can really put our Roca's name up there early in the piece.
Next up was a colt out of Marquetry mare Mirandez.
Pedigree-wise, a little bit strange. It's not a strong pedigree. We sold a horse that we raced here called Castamere. It was a very smart horse from the Rogerson stable. He now races as super leader in Hong Kong. He was out of Mirandez by Baldonoro, and but just the mating on paper looked pretty good, and she was an older mare, and I thought, well, young horse, older mare might just work for us, and the foal is a real striking foal, and he stands up, and it's like he knows he's good already, so hopefully that also translates to when he gets on the track.
A 4x4 cross to Super Sire Danehill marked the pedigree of the El Roca colt out of Paloma.
Paloma's a mare that we've got here. She's by Mossman, and she had a stakes-placed horse that Lisa Latta trained to Miss Fee. Once again, it's another very good family. I think Paloma's out of World Joy, and it's a very strong branch of that Denise's Joy family, and we've had a couple of McPhees. We've got a Savabeel this year to sell out of Paloma. So once again, it was a mare that hopefully if we got a good foal, we were able to get into a decent sale with it too. And whilst we don't expect all the El Rocas to be Premier yearlings, it'd be nice to have a selection of Premier yearlings amongst them, and this pedigree stacks up pretty well that hopefully 12 months time we'll be looking at a Premier yearling by El Roca out of Paloma.
The El Roca Joya filly could well be poised for a pedigree update as a half-sister to talented 3-year-old filly Bella Joya.
The filly half-sister to some really nice horses, and it's a speed family, and once again a Stravinsky mare, so you think it's going to get up and run, and physically she looks very much like that. So I think if El Roca's going to make it as a sire, we won't be left waiting for too long. We'll know pretty quickly that they're going to get up and run.
Yes, the team at Westbury Stud is certainly buoyed by the types of foals El Roca is producing, and they were certainly full of character when the Kiwi Bred cameras were rolling. It's time now for a short break, but when we return we check on El Hermano at Cheval Stud and look at this week's Pedigree of the Week, the Group 1 winning daughter of Shinko King, Ascadelia.